afternoon. You'll notice something specifically different about us. We are without masks. And it is just so we're upfront and clear about that. We have all been vaccinated and fully vaccinated. And so we wanted to be able to smile at you and bring some joy to your afternoon, maybe. It's been a while since we've seen people's faces. And so we are excited to be in a season where hopefully we'll be able to start to do that soon. But on campus, we are still fully masked, but for this specific event, we chose to show you our smiles. So Discover WS is something that we have done for a while at this point, and then we took a little bit of a break. Not everybody loves being on camera with people, and so they have graciously endeared themselves and said, hey, we'll get back on and start to do this again. Because our goal is to share a little bit with you about what is going on here at Winston-Salem Christian School. And we are excited that in the midst of a year where there's been a lot of uncertainty, God has been really faithful to Winston-Salem Christian School and the things that we've been able to do. And so the first thing that I want to share about is there may be people that are watching that know people that are looking for employment opportunities for next year. And one of the exciting things that we've experienced is as we have grown and continue to grow, we are in the batch looking for a group of people that will invest in Christian education through the role of teacher. And so we have several teaching opportunities that are available. They are available at wschristian.com. And so whether it's a classroom teacher, a house parent, or the opportunity to serve in different capacities, all of the job listings of Winston-Salem Christian School are up on our website, and we would love for you to share about them and visit our website to learn a little bit more about how you, as beyond a student, could get involved here at Winston-Salem Christian School. But our Discover WSCSs really aren't about job employment. They're about things that are going on here and about students and how new families could get involved with Winston-Salem Christian School. So I am joined here by Mrs. Elizabeth Broughton, who is our Director of Advancement and deals with admissions, and then Miss Miranda Tilley, who is our Athletic Director and counterpart on screen for most everything we did last year. And so we're going to just ask a couple questions. Our goal is that this will be about a 10-minute presentation, and that we'll continue to see you Wednesdays at noon throughout the spring. So, Lizzie, tell us a little bit about just the admissions process and how things are going on here at Winston-Salem Christian School right now.
So it's been a really busy admissions season. We've had lots and lots of families coming to campus to tour with us, which has been amazing. So if you're interested, we are doing on-campus tours. I know a lot of schools have kind of switched to the virtual route, but we're still doing one-on-one socially distant tours. So if you're interested, you can schedule a tour with me online. We do them rain or shine. I was out in my boots with an umbrella showing people around campus this morning. So that has really turned into fruit for us here at the school. As of right now, our lower school is actually, with the exception of kindergarten, which we doubled in order to make more space. Basically, 1st through 5th grade is full at this point. We still have a couple spots here and there, but we have people in the works to finish those spots. So we're starting to develop our waiting lists for those grades, but we do still have a good amount of space in our upper school because we have expanded several grade levels in order to accommodate all of the interests that we have coming in. So we have lots of space in those grades, and we're looking forward to finding the right kids to fill all of those spaces. So if it's something that you're interested in, if you're looking for a place for your kid this fall, the first step would be to come take a tour. Let me show you around. Let me show you all the amazing things we're doing, answer all of your questions, and just kind of give you a sense of who we are as a school so that you can determine whether you feel like this is the place for your child. So that would be step one. After that, we go through the paperwork. We do the application. If you're in need of financial aid or you're seeking the Opportunity Scholarship, I help navigate you through that process. And then we complete the enrollment process if we have a space for your student. Or we get you on that waiting list so that you can be, ahead of the game for the summer whenever we have, lots of families make transitions. So it's a constant circular motion of trying to get the right kids in the right places and have everybody be at a place where they feel like they're getting the best education for their kids. So
Well, one of the things I'm really excited about next year is just kind of our continued development of our property. And so we have several things that are going on, and one of them involves the old Woodland Baptist Church that we have called the Lighthouse now. And the Lighthouse is going to hold several things. A church will be in there, some nonprofit office space, but our high school will move up there. And one of the things I'm excited about that experience for our high school, because I think that provides some unique opportunities for them and new spaces and things like that. But part of that excitement revolves around what that does for our middle school. It gives our middle school an entire floor all to themselves. And so, Miranda, as somebody who's involved not just in athletics, but with just overall students and even academics here, why don't you share a little bit about some of the highlights that have happened with middle school and why it's going to lead into why I think this is such a great place for your middle school student to thrive.
So even before I answer that question, I think you're absolutely right about middle school having the opportunity to spread out upstairs. I also think that it gives them an authentic pathway to real leadership within this building. At this point, our high school students have taken the reins and they have been the leaders on campus, but this will give our middle schoolers a real opportunity to lead and be a part of what's happening within the lower school and give them opportunities to shine there. But as far as the middle school opportunities this year, I think the fact that we were even in person, having an in-person education this year is a highlight for our middle schoolers, because if you look at statistics coming out of COVID, depression is higher in students who have been contained in a virtual classroom all year long. The lack of social interaction is going to impact them for years to come. And so being able to be here on campus has been a tremendous asset to families, and it's been a tremendous way to continue the development of our middle schoolers. So that's something that's been huge. We started this year Esports. And so we designed and developed that to be a middle school through high school experience. And it will continue to be a middle school and high school experience. But it seems that our middle schoolers have really taken to the esports class and the esports teams. Just last week, having 3 middle schoolers, Vinny, Johan, and Jai, compete in the Rocket League experience. And for the first time, they won a series 3-0 last week. So that was a huge accomplishment for our esports program and the development of our current teacher, Jordan Lee. So we are really excited about that. Another thing is having sports in general. As the athletic director, I cannot tell you the number of instances I've run across where schools cut their middle school athletic experience, so that they could properly handle COVID protocol for their high school students. And that's something that, I just did not think we should do. I thought in order to continue for our athletes to thrive and to grow and to develop into high school athletes, it was very important for them to have these developmental years. So there was no cutting of any of our middle school programming. Of course, our teams and opponents that we could play were cut back, but we were able to offer something so that each team and athlete at the middle school level could continue their development. And then another thing is our student life in middle school. They've been able to have bonfire cookouts. They've been able to meet together pretty regularly to offer socials and opportunities for the students to continue to mingle, socially distanced, obviously. But they've had these opportunities to continue all of their social interaction. And that's been led by Dr. Wolf and a great team of other student leaders and teachers as well. So I think those things alone have set us apart as far as a middle school education, and are ways that we can continue to grow and develop our middle school programming.
Yeah, one of the things, there's a statement that has always made me cringe a little bit, and I think this year can't believe I'm going to say this, as a parent of a rising middle schooler, probably makes me cringe a little bit more, this concept that middle school is about surviving. And I think that we are very intentional about creating not just a place where students survive, but where they can thrive. And whether that is just athletic involvement, whether it's student leadership or just regularly through the fine arts or the academic programs here. We're a small middle school. Even in enlarging our size this year and this upcoming year, our goal is only to have 2 sections per grade moving forward. And so in a year and years that identity forming is so important, we're still a small enough community that you're a known entity by your teachers and by your peers and all of those different things. And so, was that?
I was just going to say, adding to that, it benefits us with the teachers that we have at that middle school age, because we have a core set of teachers that stay with them through all of their education, and that helps them to develop that sense of security, that sense of, and they know the expectations on them. And so that helps those things that you were just mentioning.
That's a huge help from 5th grade to 6th grade, where you're going from one contained classroom where you may have a couple special teachers that come in, but all of your core classes are done by Mrs. Quave. And so all of those expectations are the same. And so when you transition to middle school, it's not like you're getting 8 new teachers. You have a handful of new teachers that are going to help you kind of year by year through that middle school experience and help to open those doors. And one of the things is we talk to people that are looking for schools next year. A unique conversation that I think has come about with me and several parents that I think is a very great opportunity for kids, as I call it the gift of time. You know, we live in a world that's so quick to raise kids up and move them out. And, you know, maybe you're in a position where your son or daughter was online this year and it just wasn't a great experience. I think we have learned that there are some elements of online education that are very practical and even convenient. But we believe here at Winston-Salem Christian School that our mission is just better handled in person, face to face. And so maybe you have a son or a daughter who really struggled this past year. And so one of the things we're beginning to look at as we talk through some of these families is, you know, what is the opportunity to come and say, you know what, I was at a different school that was online in 7th grade. What if I came to Winston-Salem Christian School and redid 7th grade? It's a new environment. There's no stigma of being held back. There's actually a popular process right now that's called Reclassing Students that's done for a variety of reasons, from academic to maturity to athletic. And so maybe you're in that spot where you're just not sure what to do, where your student sits in terms of the academic experience that they had, the social experience that they had this past year, and are considering different options. And I think that's just an option that we want to be open to talk to families about. And so would they kind of go through the same process through the admissions?
Yeah, essentially we kind of just sit and I let you tell me about your kid. Tell me about your child, what their strengths and weaknesses are, what you're looking for, and then we can counsel you on whether that would be an appropriate decision for your child. So you still come, you take the tour, you do everything, just let us know it's a conversation you want to have. And we just really look at your kid holistically. You know, we look at them as a whole person and what's going to be best for them in the long run. And so it's definitely something that a lot of families choose to do, like you said, for various reasons. But it's become, you know, fairly common. And with No Child Left Behind, it's something that public schools often are not willing to consider. And so it's something that, you know, when we look at the kid and their best interest, we have a lot of autonomy to be able to help you do the right thing for your kid.
Well, it was great to be back here. I just enjoyed talking with these two, but also you online about Winston-Salem Christian School. We are excited about what God is doing here on the grand scheme in terms of just our development as a school and the development of our property. We're also particularly excited about this week. This week is Holy Week, and we're a Christian school. We love Jesus, and the fact that this is a week that gives us the opportunity to be reminded of his work and his life and his death on the cross. And so we pray that as you are evaluating whether it's a school or just checking in to see what in the world is going on with this school over here on Patterson, that we pray that you have the opportunity to be reminded of who Jesus is and what he has done for you on the cross. And so we are appreciative of you joining us here today. And we look forward to ways that we can serve you. And if it's something in admissions, Mrs. Broughton will be here to help you out and lead you through that. And if there are questions about athletics or just about anything else here on campus, Ms. Tilly can help you out with that as well. But we look forward to being here next week. This wasn't terrible, right? You guys on board for this next week?
What are you talking about? You're the one that was.
I was the one that was nervous.
You were the
I
one
do.
that was
I don't like
having a
camera time.
problem with all
It
this.
adds co-pounds. So. But next week we're going to talk you and walk you through a portrait of a graduate. What is our goal at Winston-Salem Christian School for somebody that could literally be here from 3 years old all the way through 12th grade? And so that's a long time. It's 15 years of the forming of a life. And so we want to share a little bit about, we're going to try to get a couple of our younger kids on camera with us to tell you about what our portrait of a graduate is. And as we build a viewership and audience, we'll be able to field some questions online as through the comments. But we appreciate you coming in, taking some time, and spending a little bit of time with us on this dreary Wednesday. Thank you all very much. Have a great afternoon.